On today's episode, we're talking all about the top digital marketing trends for 2019, so you can get more leads, customers, and sales for your business. We're also going to take a look at my predictions from 2018, how many I got right, how many I got wrong, and which are still relevant today. Let's get to it. Hey there, my name is Adam Erhart, Modern Marketing Strategist, and welcome to the Modern Marketing Show, where we help you generate more leads, customers, and sales for your business by making way better marketing. All right, let's talk digital marketing trends, especially here kind of midway through 2019. What have we seen that's been effective up till now? What do we see as going to be effective moving into the end of 2019 and into 2020? We're also going to take a real quick look at what my predictions were in 2018, because after kind of reviewing the video, which I'm going to make sure to link up in the descriptions below, as well as at the end of this video, well, after reviewing that one, it turns out that many of my predictions were pretty much spot on. In fact, a lot of them are still just as valuable today, if not more valuable. So I'm going to make sure to highlight all of those so you don't miss the boat again in 2019, just in case you haven't hopped on board. After all, just like the analogy I used in the 2018 video, you don't want to be Blockbuster when you could have been Netflix just by staying ahead of trends and keeping pace with the fast-changing environment we now live in. All right, so when it comes to digital marketing, there's probably no more trend that's important to talk about than that of Facebook advertising. Now, here's the kicker. I talked about this back in 2018 as kind of the first thing that we covered in that video, but it's just as relevant today, if not more relevant, because Facebook advertising still tends to be the dominant player in the space. Now there are some shifts, obviously, in Facebook ads and how competitive they are and what strategies are working best, but overall, just looking at them kind of holistically from that 30,000-foot overview, they're still an absolute powerhouse and dominator when it comes to online advertising and digital marketing in general. And yes, while ad costs have risen in Facebook ads, but also across pretty much every other advertising network, well, even though the ad costs have risen, they're still really pennies on the dollar when compared to traditional advertising, like TV or radio or newspaper, or even direct mail. But just suggesting you use Facebook ads really isn't enough. So let's dive into just a few specifics on how to get the absolute most from Facebook ads in 2019. Probably the most important point to mention when it comes to Facebook ads is that yes, costs have risen. Things are now way more competitive, and they're going to be a lot more competitive in 2020. Doesn't mean it's too late to start. It just means that when you do start now, you need to be a whole lot more strategic about it. I remember the good old days, back when we first started Facebook advertising and all we had to do was chuck up an ad and we could put that really ugly red box around it, create all kinds of really ugly and not that great ads, and they would still convert because the competition was so low. Those times are gone. We're now living in a new era where the customer and consumer is a lot more savvy. They know what ads look like, and they're not likely to click on any of those clickbaity type ads. Even if they did, Facebook's going to punish you anyways, so let's not even go there. The alternative and the strategy that's working best today in 2019 is to really look at your campaign holistically, meaning you're going to be strategic about the entire funnel, from ad to landing page to thank you page, where they're going after that, and thinking about the entire customer journey. And this is how you make Facebook ads work for you in 2019. Thinking about them strategically and as part of the overall funnel, and not just kind of a one-stop shop for getting a click and getting a call and getting a sale and trying to get your ad to do all the heavy lifting for you. Rather, you need to look at it as a part of the puzzle. Everything needs to be in place. All right, so the next digital marketing trend in 2019 you need to be aware of is none other than content marketing. Now, back in 2018, I called this content and context marketing, essentially meaning that you need to make sure that your market aligns with your message, which aligns with the media choice that you're using, meaning whichever social media platform or whatnot, and really all of those need to be congruent. This is still very true today, but it's kind of more of a given now. I think we all pretty much understand that. Where people today are still dropping the ball or missing the boat or any other cliched statement I can think of, well, where they're missing it is still not creating enough content for their businesses. Maybe because everybody's been talking about content marketing for so long, maybe because it's kind of boring at the end of the day and nobody really wants to sit down and write a blog post or record a podcast or make a video because of how much work goes into it. Whatever the case, people are still not creating enough content. This could possibly mean you too. Now, a slight update to my 2018 prediction is that today we need to be a lot more multi-channel with our content marketing, meaning we can create that one piece of content and then syndicate it out, meaning let's say we make a video and then we break out different video chunks for different social media platforms, we get the text transcribed used as a blog post, we strip the audio away for a podcast. Well, all of that's still just as valuable, but we need to make sure that we are accurately kind of distributing it across all of the different channels that our target market is likely to use. This is a lot more important today as people continue to kind of diversify their media choices and the channels they spend the most time on. So yes, content marketing is still incredibly valuable. Not new, not flashy, not that sexy. But make sure you're creating enough content and then distributing it across the right social media channels and other media platforms where your target market is active on. All right, the next point we need to cover, again, same as 2018 there, is video. Now, obviously, you know I'm going to be a big supporter of video. After all, what are we doing right here? It's video. You see, next to face-to-face or in-person communication, video really is the next best thing when it comes to communicating your message and getting the word out there about what you do and who you help and how you help them. Also, I'm not going to bore you with all the statistics, but mobile usage is up, video consumption is up, and therefore video consumption on mobile devices is up, meaning the way that people are engaging with their devices, and we all know we're all spending a lot more time on our devices, well, the media that people are tending to prefer to consume is video. Doesn't mean that audio doesn't have a place, because it does. Doesn't mean that text doesn't have a place, because it does. It just means that video is a really important priority here, and one that is not getting enough attention. Now, I fully appreciate you may not want to be on camera. I get it. I fully appreciate also that creating a video can be time-consuming, a little bit awkward and a little bit painful, especially in those early stages. But I'm gonna try to ask you to get over it as best you can because the rewards are well worth the effort. And that initial discomfort and sacrifice you're gonna have to put into to really go out there and create a video, well, it's gonna be well worth it. And as you create more videos, they're gonna snowball and you're gonna continue to build your brand and your authority and your business. All right, and that leads us nicely into the next trend for 2019. But first, let's talk about a trend that I predicted in 2018 was going to be very important that I may have overestimated just how valuable it was, and that was personalization. You see, back in the good old days of 2018, I firmly believed that personalization was going to take a lot more of a center stage position in the marketing world. Basically, custom tailoring messages and the text that people would see and the experience that someone would have going through your funnel. Well, I really believed that companies were going to spend a lot more focus kind of really trying to custom tailor this unique user experience for each and every user. Now, while this certainly did happen, and we do see a lot more segmentation and a lot more personalization, it's happened nowhere near to the level that I thought it would, and I've also come to think that maybe it's not as important as I initially thought. Yes, we're all special and we're all unique and we all like our own user experiences. However, for most businesses, it's simply not cost effective or time effective or energy effective to go out there and try to create personalized and custom experiences for everyone. Rather, the alternative is to really niche down, figure out exactly who is your ideal customer avatar. That one person that loves you, loves what you do, loves everything about you, and wants to tell all their friends and family. Because that's the person that you want to go after. That person, that type of person. That's how you want to build your marketing and your messaging, making sure that you're picking the right channels so that you can connect with them. And that leads us nicely into our next point, which my prediction back in 2018 was the end of internet marketing douchiness. I'm quite happy to say that fortunately, we've seen this one fall off a cliff. Yes, you still see people taking selfies in front of their Lambos and their giant rented mansions and things like that. However, they're a lot quicker to get called out, and after seeing a lot of fake income reports and fake reports about just how well people are really doing, and all the studies that show that people are really putting forward kind of a fake facade or fake personality on social media, well, a lot of those kind of houses of cards have really fallen down. And this is a great thing because it's enabled that authentic and true and real and vulnerable type of entrepreneur and business to go out there and thrive and shine and really connect with the people they seek to serve. Now, I know there's like a million exceptions to this rule. You don't need to send me all of them. I've seen all the pictures. I get it. But what you're going to find is that this strategy is significantly less effective today in 2019, and it's going to be even less effective in 2020. So if your marketing contains any hyped up claims, any hyperbole, any Lamborghinis or Ferraris, you're going to want to be careful and slowly start to drift those out. Maybe replace it with like a Jetta or a Honda Civic or a Tesla even. Even though Teslas are like $100,000. I don't get that. Somehow that's okay though. Branding. Now the next trend we need to be aware of and talk about here in 2019 is community. Now I did talk about this back in 2018, but I want to change just the way that we structure this and phrase it so you can really wrap your head around what I'm trying to get across here. Essentially, the businesses and entrepreneurs that are building the strongest and most viable and engaging businesses today in 2019 are ones that are really focusing on building a strong community or tribe or group of people all centered around a core cause. And therein lies the key. What they're doing is they're building up these communities or these groups or these tribes around these core causes rather than around their businesses themselves, because marketing a cause or a mission or a vision or an objective is a whole lot easier than marketing a business, which we all know exists really just to make money. Sure, you might have some underlying cause like serving the greater good and helping people, but at the end of the day, if the business doesn't make money, it's not really a business. Even not-for-profit businesses make money, they just don't profit. But I digress. Basically, when you've got a community of people all working towards some kind of goal, some kind of objective, and your company can be the ambassador for this, well, it makes it a lot easier to build a really strong community of loyal and engaged followers that are ultimately going to end up becoming lifelong loyal customers for your business. I'm not sure I was accurate when I labeled it a trend back in 2018 because it's been around pretty much forever, but still just as relevant today. All right, and the next digital marketing trend we need to talk about for 2019 is voice search. Basically, when it comes to voice search, all we have to do is think about how we engage with our devices, and it becomes really clear that this is going to be something you're going to want to get in front of as quickly as possible if you haven't already. The reason this is so important is because the way that consumers are engaging with their devices has changed from, rather than just always typing in questions, they're now asking them directly, like where is the closest bakery, or where is the nearest gym, or I guess those two don't really go together. Or where can I go to get an oil change? Or who has the best restaurant in town? Or whatever it is. Basically, people are asking their devices and their devices are giving them the answers back. This is why it's key that you're optimizing your business for voice search so that when you ask your device this question, your business is the one that gets recommended in return. Which leads us perfectly into our next point, having a mobile social dominance strategy. What this basically means is that, as I predicted back in 2018, the importance of having your social strategy focused first on the mobile users was going to become increasingly important. We've definitely seen this, and it's only going to continue to rise in 2019 and moving into 2020. Now, some platforms naturally already lend themselves pretty much exclusively to this strategy. Instagram being the main one, which is pretty much mainly, if not only, a mobile device platform. I mean, sure, you can check it on a desktop browser, but you're kind of limited on pretty much all the features. But where this becomes a little less obvious is in other social media channels, like YouTube, for example. Well, what we're seeing a lot is that, those little thumbnails that you click, most people are still designing them for desktop users. But the problem is that a lot of people are using YouTube on their mobile devices. So if you've got small text or small images, or it's hard to read on a desktop, well, you're going to be missing out on the bulk of your traffic. Now, depending on your demographic and your target market, it's going to be a little bit different depending on how much of your search is coming from mobile and how much is coming from desktop. But one thing is absolutely clear, and that is that mobile use is up, desktop use is down, and we're pretty much only going to see this trend continue to widen the gap. This is why really focusing on mobile first, whether we're talking about social media or your website even, but really designing for that mobile experience first is going to be the absolute best return on your marketing budget, rather than the other way around. All right, so I'm gonna link up two videos here you're gonna wanna go check out right now. The first is Digital Marketing Trends 2018, so you can see how many parallels there were between this year and last year. The second is Facebook Ads Tips and Tricks 2019, which is gonna give you some of my best tips and tricks to really take advantage of what I believe is the most valuable digital marketing strategy you should be using in your business in 2019. All right, so thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I'll catch you next time on The Modern Marketing Show.